welcome again to my YouTube channel. My name is Tinashe and this is Nashe. So basically I am here to give you another video in the same year. Oh my god. So basically I had somebody ask me to tell you more about my medical school experience, first year, as well as how I got in. So I just decided to give you guys a little mini series. Basically I'm going to be calling it Medicine, How and What. So this is the video number 1 and welcome to my YouTube channel. Hey, do not forget to like, comment and subscribe to the video. Okay, let's get into it. So basically we'll start with the how to get into medical school. This is video number 1. I'll also put the medical school website page here on this side so you guys can follow through with me. So there are 3 pathways to get into University of Botswana School of Medicine. There is the direct pathway, there is the Premade pathway, and there is a postgraduate pathway. So I'm going to be talking about the Premade pathway first because that's the pathway that I took, and then we'll go to the direct pathway, and then we'll go to the postgraduate pathway, and then we'll go through the stages of screening before you actually get your congratulations, you've entered medical school and the rest of your life. Okay, so basically with pathway number 1, this is the Premade pathway. So here at University of Botswana, when you want to do sciences or science related degree, be it engineering, nursing, pharmacy, medical school, or anything, you have to go through the first year, which we call the BSc year, which is Bachelor of Sciences General year. So everybody goes through this year. So there'll be about 2,000 pupils. I remember my year we almost had 2,000 pupils going through the BSc year. We're doing the basic sciences, which is just math, physics, chemistry, bio, and you're also doing ICT because they want you to get computer literate, as well as communication skills, which is like project, research, presentations type of vibe. Yeah, so you do that for 2 semesters, which is just 1 whole academic year, and then you apply to get into the other schools. You don't just automatically get into medical school just because you went through the first year. You have to apply again. So the reason why they do that, why they prefer doing that here in Botswana in particular, is because their high school program does not include A-levels like the one in Zimbabwe. In Zimbabwe, we know it's mandatory to do your A-levels if you want to go to varsity. Here you don't do A-levels. You end at what the equivalent of O-levels would be, or matrix system. So it's 5 years of high school. You write your examination, then you can get into varsity if you don't want to do A-levels, which is what most people do actually. So I guess it's almost like a year for you to like get used to like the whole varsity lifestyle, and basically the first year is almost like A-level year but a bit more advanced just a little bit, and to also like weed out people type of vibe. Yeah. So, and to just like get to know your basic sciences that you do need for your intended degree programs. So you go through BSc for the first year, and then you have to make sure your grades are top notch all the time. Like make sure you're like giving 150% of yourself all the time, and then you will apply when the applications of medical school come out, which is usually like mid-2nd semester, which is around March, April. That's when the applications come out, and then you can apply with your transcript and through the UB website. So with that, so they've got specific requirements for you to be able to be considered. So they say that you need a GPA of 3.5 because we are on a 5 GPA system here. But let me just tell you something. Do not think you're comfortable. Do not think you're okay with a 3.9. No.
You cannot trick me. You cannot trick me.
The closer you are to 5, the better. I remember they will tell you that you need a GPA of 3.5 in your BSc year for you to be able to be considered for medicine. But they could say, okay, we are starting at 5.0. and then they cut off at 4.7, or they cut off at 4.6 or 4.5, and you're thinking, oh, I'm cool with 3.9, I can apply, they'll consider me. No, they will not. So I'm saying, like, your BSc year, you have to literally stay on top of your work the whole way and make it happen. I'm talking about all your subjects. And particularly they look at chemistry. Chemistry is a must have, so make sure your chemistry is an A, straight A. And they'll also consider, in my year, they considered 2 other subjects. So I think my subjects were physics and math, because I really liked the whole mathematical side. Even my A-levels were physics, math, and chemistry mostly. And then some people, you can do bio, and yeah. And like I said, ICT is compulsory unless you've done an ICT module, like you did ICT for O levels, or if you did ICDL, which is what I did in high school. So I was exempted from ICT, but I still had to do communication skills. And don't think that, okay, so they won't be looking at this those 2 subjects, so I can like be lax on it. No, because those 2 subjects contribute to your ultimate GPA. So all your subjects have to literally be top notch for you to be able to have a good GPA and then be able to make it through the first screening process. So yeah, that's the first screening process. It's literally just your academic achievement, basically. Your GPA. They don't worry about personal letters. They don't do that. It's literally your grades. Your grades literally tell them what they want to know about you, and they screen you on that alone. And then, so before I move on to the second part of the screening process, I will go on to phase, which is a second pathway, which is the direct entry into medical school. Okay, so pathway number 2. So this is the direct entry pathway, and yeah, this one's pretty direct, like I say, it's direct entry. So this is for the people that have done A-levels and really did well. They can get a chance to get directly into medical school without going through the pre-med years, the basic sciences. So like I said, the pre-med year is basically like your A-levels. So if you've done your A-levels and you did like really well, like maybe you got A's, maybe and a B, but like mostly A's, because they only have like, is it 2 seats open in the class, which is meant for direct entry. There could be more, there could be less, depending on the year. But yeah, so basically, if your A-levels are really good, remember you have to have chemistry as one of the A-level options, and then maybe you could have math and physics, or math and bio, depends on what you did. But they have to be science-related programs. And then if you did really well, you are still able to apply directly to the medical school with your A-level results, and then you could be considered to go to the next phase of the screening program. About pathway number 3. So basically, with the third pathway, this is the postgraduate entry pathway. So I remember they say that particularly starting our year, they opened up a seat or 2, particularly for people that have done other degree programs. So I know people that have done any science related programs, like you've done Bachelor of Sciences and you actually did like as a degree program and you graduated, you are eligible to also apply for medical school. I also know a few people that have also done basically other degree programs. Just as long as it's science related and you've got a good GPA, you will be able to go through the first phase of the screening process. And also for people that maybe applied this year and then they didn't manage to get in because their GPA was below the cutoff point, you can still apply again next year. But for that to happen, they will still be using your first year marks, just so that everybody is on the same leveling field or same playing ground. So you can, if you want, you can try maybe to redo your first year if you think you really want to go into medicine, or maybe just try applying again, go for second year and then apply again. Maybe their cutoff point might be a bit lower that following year, but it's like a gamble, because in that case it could actually be higher that year. It depends on generally the people that are applying and basically how well they did in their A-levels and their high school or BSc, and just generally for those people that have done other degree programs, like I said, they are specific like number of seats reserved for them, but they're not saying that if they didn't do so well that they will still get in. If there's somebody who did better, then they will be able to get in compared to the person who did the degree program. Which brings me to my next point. As international students, so what they say is, according to the University of Botswana, there is a limited number of seats for international students. I'm saying this because I am an international student myself, and I knew this going into BSc, and I knew it was literally touch and go for me. So that's why my work had to literally be like all the way up there all the time. They take 10% of the incoming class. They say 10% of the incoming class is going to be international. So in our year we had 80 students that were admitted into the class of 2027, and out of that 80, 10%, which was 8 of us, were international students. So this we've got people from India, we've got people from Zimbabwe, people from Kenya, type of vibe. Basically any other international student, you only have like 10% of the incoming class. So if they're admitting 50 people that year, only 5 seats will be open for international students. If they're admitting 100, only 10 seats will be open for international students. So as an international student, you are literally not only fighting against everybody else, but fighting against all the other international students to get a very limited number of seats into the incoming year. So I would, like I said, if you really want to get into if you want to go to a school outside of your intended country, especially in SADC, because I know there's a SADC schools that really look at this, like the whole international thing, I would say make sure your work is top notch all the time. So basically we talked about the application pathways, now the screening process. So obviously the first step is the GPA or the results section, and then the second step is the interview section. So basically when you apply, maybe they might take about 500 people can be screened through the GPA process, and then from those 500 they might select 120 to come for an interview, and then from that 120 they'll select the number of people that they actually want. So with the interview, it's not mostly about your grades, it's mostly about how you relate to people, your bedside manner. So my advice to that would be just be likable. Just make sure that you're able to talk to people, they're likable, and people can relate to you. If you've got a personal story that relates to a question, then just put that in there, but don't be a know-it-all at the same time. Be teachable as well. I will see if I can find some questions or help you out with the whole interview process. I'll put a video up on that later on. But okay, so basically so that was the how to get into medical school. And basically to stay in medical school, I would say just make sure you're on top of your work. I know they say the hardest part of a medical school is getting in, but even though you've gone through the whole selection process, just make sure you're on top of your work, you're doing your best and giving it your all. You can have fun and everything. I'm not saying don't have fun, but just because every test that you get is an exam on its own, and you can't afford to fail because that's going to affect your GPA basically. And we'll talk about what type of interview questions to expect in another video, but for now that was just the how to get into medical school and how to stay in medical school. And the next part of the video we're talking about what to expect in medical school. So thank you for sticking around. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Damn.
Like I should. When in dark, walk